So Gary,
Yes.
tell me what family constellation work is about. What does it do?
What does it do? Well, it basically, there's a consciousness to our whole family system that's been alive for eons, many generations. And with the constellation process, we have access to, let's say, the unconscious memories of the family system of those who have departed. And in using that, in the constellation process, we can unravel some of the secret history of the family system. And the amazing thing is, as it's unraveling during the workshop or in a constellation, it's healing simultaneously. So we're bringing hidden dynamics or secrets to light, and they're being revealed and released at the same time to help the client who's working on a particular issue, which is why they want a constellation done in the first place, to heal their relationship issue or financial issue or issue between a sibling they're fighting with or a parent they dislike.
So what you're saying is somebody can come to you with an issue in the present.
Yes.
And you go into the past, their family's past,
Yes.
to unravel it.
Yes.
And it affects them in the present.
Yes, and will affect their future as well, because they don't have to carry that anymore. It's been resolved. And in the resolution of the problem, what we find lies unconditional love, that it really shows us that there was something there all along that actually was very positive. We couldn't see it because we were so consumed with the issue.
So somebody who has an issue in the present, your group goes into the past and gets to that place of unconditional love, which means what?
Unconditional love, it really means embracing something that you don't know. So it's trusting in the mystery of life, and the life force itself is a positive force. And it reveals something. Sometimes it's something very dark is revealed. Sometimes it just shows an invisible dynamic you didn't realize was really creating the problem. And in releasing and witnessing the invisible dynamic in a constellation experience, you're free of it.
So what you're doing then is unlocking the judgments when you talk about the dark and the past.
Absolutely.
And keeping that love so that you can move forward and be free of what your current issue is.
Yes.
Wow.
And in my own experience, I discovered I had plenty of suffering in my family system, in my family. And when I saw the suffering of my ancestors, mine was mild by comparison. So I was actually quite surprised that my ancestors suffered much more than me, and that in itself made me feel much more compassion and much lighter about my fate with my family and my family system.
And that's where you're able to find that love.
Yes, and then I get to, the more you heal yourself, the more you can help someone else, and it's unconditional.
Okay, thank you. That's amazing.
Well, thank you very much.
What issues can be addressed? I think you just touched on some of them, but just to clarify, you talked about financial.
We can health conditions,
issues.
Financial, career decisions, trying to make a decision of what field you should go into, or you could even use it for something as simply just to see where the unconscious desire is coming from. Where do you really want to work? You think one thing, but in the process you get to see where your heart really is for, say, a career that you'd like to choose. It can be used for any dynamic. Why do you always fight with your mother or fight with your father? You will have this ongoing fight with a boyfriend or girlfriend. It's always the same issue over and over again, no matter what relationship you're in. So we have access to see where that's coming from. So the consciousness of that dynamic came from somewhere, and with the constellation process we have access to find out where it comes from, and it may come from your grandmother and grandfather fighting, and you're currently doing it, and almost in a symbolic way to honor them. But it's not your fight. You're fighting for them, and they've long gone. They've passed on, but yet the fight remains.
Wow, so you are recreating the same old pattern over and over and over again. And you don't even know why.
Exactly, and we find that that's kind of part of the inheritance. We get our bodies and we inherit life, but at the same time, the unfinished baggage gets passed on. And we find we're creating the same scenarios that our ancestors lived in to almost find out how they felt and how they reacted to life. And more than not, it's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary, and it can be healed.
Yes, it can be healed, and what we find is there's an intense loyalty to be like the people we came from. A lot of people wouldn't admit that consciously, but they want to learn the same lesson that the ancestor had to learn. So there's a like-mindedness in every family system. So they try to recreate a present that actually mirrors the past and reflects into the future.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yes.
So in doing the work that you're doing, you are helping people move forward in a much freer, easier, simpler way, not so complicated.
Absolutely. Life has enough challenges rather than trying to recreate someone else's life to benefit them. So in a case like that, if there's great grief in the family, we can put that grief to rest so somebody can look forward in their life with joy rather than sorrow, because that sorrow belonged in the past and may not belong in the present. And the thing is, every generation is going to have sorrow or grief, and can we just express it fully as it happens rather than hold on to it and pass it down to a future generation?
So what you're talking about then is, as we let go of the family trauma, whatever it is,
yes,
then it doesn't get passed forward to the children.
So it's great for anyone who does this who's a parent. The children doesn't even have to come and do a constellation or experience it. If it's cleared in the parents, it's cleared in everything they created through osmosis.
Yes, that is fantastic. So one person might be doing it for themselves, but the whole family benefits from it.
And even family members not present. It's the consciousness and the energy of the whole family system is represented by each individual. And when one individual works on healing their part of the system or their experience with their whole family system, the whole family system is benefits from it, even if they're not present.
Well, that's huge, Gary.
Yes, very, very much so.
Very huge, yes. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
That this book is a synopsis, a very of the work that you do and the questions that you ask, and that you are doing incredible work.
Why, thank you very much.
And more information can be found on Gary's website, which is www.chifield.com. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Chi is the life force.
Chi is the life force.
And it's
in
a field.
Chinese and all over the world.
Chifield.com.
Yes.
And Many Hearts, One Soul is available on Amazon globally in every country on earth.
Wonderful. So anyone can find you anywhere in the world.
Yes.
And you are available to work with clients from all over the world, long distance.
Yes.
Just like we do, we refer clients to you.
Yes, absolutely.
On a regular basis.
I'm
and
very
you've helped
grateful
a lot
for
of people.
that. Thank you.
Yes, so I want to thank you so much for coming today.
Absolutely. Namaste.
And appreciate your wonderful work.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.